Luiz Ferraretto. I'm assistant professor of livestock nutrition at the University of Florida. Most of my research is based on how to improve the nutritive value of whole plant corn silage, and the goal with our presentation today is to describe some of these strategies in order to enhance the nutritive value of corn silage. Okay? Just so you know that, I'm a dairy nutritionist, so be careful with the comments I'll make throughout this presentation because may not apply to every scenario towards beef production, but a lot of those will be very important for your operation. So in our initial slide, we have a lot of background information, and this particular slide is very unique because whole plant corn silage is very unique. Whole plant corn silage is a combination of two different carbohydrate fractions, which is normally offered separate to ruminant animals, but in this particular case is fed together. When we discuss the yellow fraction, which is the kernel, versus the green fraction, which is the stover, there are several different things that may affect their quality and that may affect carbohydrate digestion. Okay? When we discuss the yellow fraction, it's mainly related to starch. Starch is fastly degradable, and there are several different approaches you can use to maximize the use of starch by ruminant animals. Okay? Some of those approaches are listed in this particular slide, and in our opinion, is exactly this order of importance. Okay? Today we will discuss a lot of kernel particle size, and hopefully throughout this presentation I will convince you how important it is to break kernels. Okay? Other particular topics we could discuss include duration of silage fermentation, kernel maturity, and endosperm properties. And last, I have one sentence there talking about additives. If you go to this presentation looking for additives, I apologize, you will not find anything, but if you go to the market, you will not find either because they are not available. Okay? At least not to add directly to whole plant corn silage in order to improve starch digestibility. However, all the other topics we'll try to cover to a certain extent. In terms of duration of silage fermentation, we'll try to introduce to you the topic about how important it is to keep silage stored for longer in order to improve starch digestibility. In other words, if we can let bacteria in the silo release proteases, break down prolamine protein, which surrounds starch and inhibits starch digestion, do the job for you. So this way you can focus towards other goals. Okay? Also, we'll discuss a little bit of kernel maturity. When we discuss kernel maturity, we will discuss whole plant corn silage maturity, which affects not only the kernel, but also the stover fraction. Overall, it is expected that the greater the maturity, less digestible starch is. When we shift to the stover fraction, the most important compound we are going to discuss is NDF, or neutral detergent fiber. There are several different aspects of fiber digestibility that can be affected by silage management. Okay? Normally, this is related to the ratio of lignin to NDF, and this could be altered by hybrid types. We're not going to discuss a lot about hybrids, but there are a lot of very good hybrids in the market that have lower levels of lignin that you could use. We will discuss a little bit of maturity. Similar to kernels, as maturity progresses, fiber digestibility is reduced. And I'm not going to discuss about additives, different than starch. For fiber, there are some additives in the market, but there is a lot of variance on how they are utilized and the response, or how great the response can be. Okay? So I suggest you to look for additives that are very good in your region and very good at corn hybrids that you commonly plant. Okay? But you're not going to show any data. One interesting experiment we ran some years ago is to try to identify how important particle size of kernels is in whole plant corn silage. Some of our interns cut kernels from 300 hybrids in 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64 pieces. And right after that, we incubated those kernels in the rumen of a dairy cow just to see the extent of degradation from 3 to 24 hours. Okay? During our presentation, you can see what happens with all those kernels plus an intact kernel that we also added there. In terms of maturity, what we want to discuss is, because of the needs of greater dry matter and starch yields, a lot of time we ask ourselves, should we keep silage longer in the field in order to have greater yields of dry matter and starch? Well, obviously, if you just think about dry matter and starch, the correct answer is yes, you should. Okay? However, previous research show a lot of issues related to harvesting dry matter above 40%, okay? Including packing issues, fermentation issues, digestibility issues. However, one thing we need to keep revisiting is, how about the new technology we have available? For example, the modern hybrids we have in the market. See, companies put a lot of effort on those every single year. Do they still have issues with fiber digestibility? Maybe, maybe not. Other technologies available, for example, very aggressive processors. Can they help to break kernels even if they are harder because of maturity? Perhaps they could, but you need to keep testing those, okay? Are those modern hybrids harder with maturity as they used to be many years ago? And last, the topic related to duration of silage fermentation. In case we leave late maturity silage fermenting for longer, will it solve the problem related to maturity? So with our presentation today, the goal was to answer some of those questions. Okay, we hope we could achieve that goal. If not, feel free to send us an email. Our email is in the background slide, and we will be glad to answer all your questions with regard to this presentation, and we hope you will watch it. Thank you.